Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 8 Chinese Collector Medium, the Type 59. This tank was rather substantially buffed in the latest update of the game in multiple ways. First of all, its armor was buffed. The upper plate has now been increased, and the turret armor is also better, allowing this vehicle to be more of a T-62A at Tier 8. When you pair that with the fact the vehicle also is now basically the first special ability in the tier, it's kind of crazy. This vehicle has adaptive concealment, allowing the tank to get unspotted 3 seconds faster. Normally it takes 10 seconds to get unspotted after shooting. This tank only takes 7. And you're allowed to see who has spotted you, when you're spotted, and when you're unspotted. It is legitimately the most overpowered ability in the game because it gives you so much information. And as a player that tries to use all the information available to him, this tank is going to be a beast in the tier. Now, unfortunately, this ability is not on a light tank. I do think that putting this ability on something more akin to that of a T-49 or, a light tank in general would obviously be a bit more beneficial. But I'm not going to complain. Giving this to a Tier 8 is still going to be really, really nice, and it's going to give you big advantages over your opponents. So we arrive on Himmelsdorf, and we're going to see what we can do. I'm pretty excited, to be honest. By the way, this is not the first special ability that has been added to Tier 8. Technically, we have the Desert Force ability, or whatever the heck it's called, for the ground tank, which allows you to drive faster on sandy terrain. Who cares, to be entirely honest? Okay, I was trying to shoot down that brick wall so I could spot people crossing, but I guess we're not going to. I guess my shell's going to completely miss the wall. The Type 59 does not have the most accurate gun. It's not a bad gun by any means, but it's definitely not what I would... Really? That one missed too! Okay, alright, game. I need just a little bit of RNG today. Not a lot, just a teeny bit that works for me. Well, we have the SU. There you go. Finally, a good bit of RNG hitting the SU-130 in the crossing. Thank you, game. I appreciate it. Alright, so the SU-130 is all the way in the back, Rooney. We also have the T-32 who's going to cross, and we get a 290 damage shell into the T-32. And he bounces me. Pretty good stuff. Just stopping that T-32 from crossing is obviously very nice. And then we get another shell into his tank for another 248 damage. And he gets lit on fire. And a 55A spots me, but that's no problem for me at all. By the way, T-32, you gonna cross this as well? Come on, cross it, you little goober. Well, it looks like he actually... might not. I don't know. Ooh, no, I'm not able to hit that. Unfortunate. Now, I can see that there's a lot of death rolling around this corner here. I don't know exactly how I feel about that, so I'm going to start backing up a bit. Let's see if the T-49 crosses. Nice! 290 damaging shell into his tank, tracking him in the process, and that allows my teammate to get the clear. We have the T-55A. Nice! 317 into the 55, and we're getting out pretty good bleeds so far. You can see while the damage per minute on the Type 59 isn't anything to write home about, the accuracy is good enough to get most shells out, and the damage per shot is also quite substantial, which is really, really good. Let's see, T-77 or one of these players crosses, and we get a nice 250 damage shell out. This T-77 is really trying hard to get that shell into me, but you're not getting it, bro. I'm literally just going to leave, and then you're not going to have the opportunity to shoot me. Alright, so let's see. We got the rear of the IS-8 right over here, and we get a nice shell into you. I want to see if our armor is actually good enough to get a bounce from this T-77. Well, he cuts right through my upper plate with one shot, and... come on, give me a bounce, game. No, we get lit on fire. You know, what's wild is that we were full health 1 second ago, and now we have 428 from a single T-77. It shows you just why the T-77 is easily one of the most overpowered Tier 8 in the game. The damage output that vehicle features is just too high, which is why I'm going to focus the T-77 over the Chimera. So we're just going to reload. Realistically, this T-77 will not be able to kill me. Not with its average damage, at least. Yep, there you go. We do have a damaged rack, but that doesn't matter to me at all. We are up to 3,000 damage already. We're going to reload, and we get a nice shell into the T-77 once again. Our teammate gets the clear, and there you go. A pretty good game. So, yeah, the armor was buffed on this tank, but as we saw, not enough to really substantially get bounces from 230 millimeters of pen. That T-77 cut right through my armor with his standard ammo like no issues. However, we did 3,368 damage. We probably netted a decent chunk of credits at over 100,000 and had a pretty solid result. A great example of the Type 59's overall capabilities and why it is a super fun Tier 8. So, let's do one more game, this time on Desert Sands, a Tier 9 matchup again. Thank you, Wargaming. I love my matchmaking. But that's not going to stop us from having a good battle. Let's see. Waffenträger Panzer IV T30 and a Jagdtiger. Oh boy. So all they have are tank destroyers and then mediums. Basically, I cannot sit in this bush here, because if I do, those tank destroyers will have shots on me. So the only spot that I can realistically push up to is right over here. Move out of my way, 54. I'm pushing into this spot. However, does not look like that actually gives me anything beneficial right now. I don't want these tank destroyers to have shots on me. So I'm going to push over where our Skoda was and see if I can get some damage into the Centurion. Hello, good sir. Only trying to show my turret, and that allows me to get a nice bleed out. We're going to reload again. 3, a 2, a 1, and bonk. This is where that 7 degrees of gun depression feels incredibly nice, because instead of relying on your normally damage per shot to outtrade the Centurion, I can just easily use my gun depression, work the ridgeline, and get some easy bleeds out. So we have the Jagdtiger, nice 276 into his tank. I was not mistaken in the fact that they have a bunch of rats over here, though. I knew that they would have tank destroyers in their spawn, and that is something that's going to have to be very, very cautiously worked about. What sucks is that the Skoda's in my way, and that means I'm going to be the one who's probably getting shot by this T-30, unless I make my way over here. I don't like this at all. Let's maneuver. Yes, come on, T-30, shoot. Yes, just like that. Beautiful. And that allows me to get to the side of the Jagdtiger, get a max roll of 350 into his vehicular. Okay, pretty good stuff. Let's move all the way over here, which is going to put this T-30 in a rather awkward spot. Beautiful. We can see the armor of this vehicle's turret doing the job when we need it to, giving us that bounce. I'm going to aim it on the rear of the T-30 turret. Nice 316. The Jagdtiger hatches me from the back of the hat. Whatever. I don't know. That was stupid, but it doesn't really matter too much to me. This Jagdtiger can tunnel me all day. He's going to get shot in the side by my 54E1 and just about every other teammate I have anyway. So, yeah, you can do that. There you go. Nice 349 into the Jagdtiger as well, bringing him down to a one-shot Aruni. Let's try an angle. No, we do not get a bounce. The Skoda has such a nasty gun, and something you're always going to have to be very cautious about there. Oh, man, wow, my team might lose this game. I don't know how, but they're doing a pretty good job of throwing it. All right, well, let's see. We got the Skoda who's trying to rush me. I don't want to be shot by that. Let's back up, and I'm going to try and aim it on the Skoda's hull, but I really can't reliably. There you go. We got a nice pen into his hatch. Let's back up again. The Jagdtiger is a big ol' threat, and there's really not much I can do here apart from pray that he bounces me. Come on. What? And my shell misses? I'm just dead. The Type 59 is a good tank. I mean, we can see that. The gun is very, very solid, and, I mean, it did a fine job, but at the end of the day, what am I supposed to do here, man? Like, I got a Jagdtiger rushing up, I have a Skoda T56 on my rear, and the medium that I relied on to support me drove over the ridge and died. My Skoda T50 did the same thing. We did a good result, though. We did just shy of 3,000 damage. There just wasn't anything I could do in this result. So, what do I think about the Type 59? I think it's a really strong medium. I think that the armor is really troll now, and it will allow you to especially get bounces from lower tiered opponents. Not that apparently you'll ever fight them, but it will allow you to get bounces on a lot of tier 7 matches. And even against certain tier 8s, you still will get pretty good bounces. You can see the turret armor worked great, especially against that T30. And when you pair that with the pretty good gun depression and overall flexible capabilities, I think it's a great tank. I mean, both games we played did 3,000 just about. Just sadly, our team sucked. And as I always say, when you are in a tier 8 and you have tier 9s on your team, you are entirely reliant on your tier 9s. And unfortunately, my T54E1 and Skoda both killed themselves. And if they had just lived for a minute longer, that probably would have been a win. But I can't do everything. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. And let me know what you guys think about the Type 59 in the comments. I can tell you, I really like this tank. I think it's fantastic. And it's definitely a worthwhile pickup, especially because it's usually fairly cheap. The gun's great, everything's great, and I love that adaptive concealment. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.